Well, good evening. 6 o'clock on the West Coast, 9 o'clock on the East Coast, and for everybody in between, nice to see you again. Had a great time last night. Chat board is lighting up. Spencer, hello everybody. Spencer always first. Love my Spencer. He's a great guy. Brandon, Alan, Pens fan Jordan 34. Well, hi Pens fan. Not sure if you were with us last night, but welcome to the talk show. Day 2 of the talk show this month. Here's a hi from Justin, Notre Dame fan. Nice to see you, Justin. Hall M34. Hey everybody, you were here with us last night. Looking to have a lot of people on tonight. A lot of people in the chat. I hope we can have a lot of good stuff to talk about. First thing I think I'd like to talk about tonight is what a great time I had last night. It was an amazing time. Oh, there's Keegan from Canada. What's up, Keegan? My friend TJ. I like TJ. Alan, go Dodgers. Right on, Alan. JDM, ladies and gents, everybody's doing. I've loved that. That's so polite. Gentlemen and mods, like it. What it says, not the GOAT, no joke. I think a tornado hit my house this morning. You got to tell us where you are. Where do you live, guy? Let us know what it was like. We've been through that once. We also been through a couple of earthquakes. And quite frankly, when it comes to earthquakes and tornadoes, I'll take the earthquake any day because your stuff might be all over the place, but at least it's dry. You go through a tornado or a hurricane, your stuff is all tore up and is soaking wet. So I'll take the earthquake anytime. Anyway, who is Frank Thacker? Frank, I think I saw you last night online. Nice to see you again tonight. Alan says he lives in New York. Brendan, I don't like earthquakes. Come on, Brendan. It's just like riding a roller coaster, except you don't know what's coming, but it's free. You don't have to stand in line, pay anybody for a ticket. Justin is asking, is Joseph and Zachary in Talladega? They will be tomorrow morning. Tonight they're in Atlanta, or actually Douglasville, Georgia, which is about 30 minutes west of Atlanta. That's where their older brother Bob lives with his family. And so they are staying with him for the weekend. Love Bob, great guy, great shooter, good kid. Former Marine, proud of him for that. So we want to get started. Happy Cinco de Mayo to all of you. Emilio just checked in. I don't think Emilio was with us last night. Nice to see you, sir. First thing I want to talk about tonight, because I heard his interview this morning with Joey Logano. And the question is Joey Logano going to become the new bad boy of NASCAR? If you were watching Daytona, when he got introduced, he got booed louder than anybody. And remember when it used to be Kyle Busch, or Shrubby as we like to call him, he got booed more than anybody, but not anymore. I think Logano, for the fact that he's been in so many wrecks and fights, and the fact that he's a Yankee, a lot of people don't like that, I think he's going to be the new bad boy of NASCAR. Unfortunately, he's a tall, skinny kid, and he smiles a lot. I don't know if he has that bad boy look. So either he's going to have to work on that, or he's going to have to, try to shed that image, you know what I mean? Here's Garrison chiming in and says, Logano will become the next bad boy. It started in the Vegas race. It started a long time before that, Garrison. But yeah, this year he was in that too. Not the GOAT 02. I just like Logano because he's a Kenseth fan. And at least I'm glad to hear at least not the GOAT, that you got through that tornado. I know that can be really, really horrific thing. A horrific thing. You pray for everybody. You pray for yourself. You pray for your animals, because I know it makes them go nuts and run around. Here's Frank saying Logano's bad stuff started in Kansas, maybe a few years ago. Smoke Diver 6710 asks, how's your day been? It was terrific. It was a Friday, no problem with the freeway, and it was payday. Ka-ching. That's all I got to say. Justin tells me Chase Elliott is my favorite driver. I think Chase Elliott is going to be a lot of people's favorite driver when Junior retires. I think they're going to go. Most of them are going to go on over to Chase. Spencer, any news on Cars 3 and Despicable Me 3 trailers? That's one of the things I want to talk about a little bit, Spencer, is movies, because I know everybody loves movies. It's a big movie weekend. Opening up with Guardians 2 opening up. One of the people who works for me went to see it last night. We asked her, was it any better than the first one? She said it was about the same. And I had to say, you know, if your idea of entertainment is talking raccoons and dancing baby trees, whatever. I kind of like some stuff a little more serious. I like things that are a little more fun too, but whatever. Everybody has their own thing. Spencer's chiming in, all-time favorite still Jeff Gordon. Amen, Spencer. I have to agree to that entirely. Love Jeff. He's a good guy, good citizen, no bad reputation. You know, what can you say? There's no downside to Jeff Gordon, and the guy can even break dance. I mean, he's the entire package. He's a good guy. Pence fan, Jordan34 says new movies are always the best. And you know what? He's right. New movies, but old movies. If you want to crack up, watch an old movie. Blues Brothers is always good. Blues Brothers never gets old. No matter how many times you see it, it's always good. I remember the first time I showed it to the boys, their jaws were like, what is that? They could not believe it. We love that movie. I've got a picture of the boys with the Blues Brothers car, that cop car that they put this big speaker on the top. Oh, it was too much to see that thing. One time we were at a car show and that thing was there, so we took some pictures with that. And a guy who was all decked out, you know, like Jake, one of the Blues Brothers. That was a lot of fun. Here's a guy who's asking, can Jeff Gordon come back from retirement? N2SC1R. Very original, by the way. No, I don't think he's going to come back. He's comfortable doing what he's doing. His wife is happy to have him home. He's got to have time to raise the kids. He's no spring chicken. A lot of people don't know this, but Jeff Gordon in his career, he started his first Sprint Cup race and raced 797 consecutive races. Never missed a race in 23 seasons. That is amazing. 23 seasons. They talk about Cal Ripken Jr. playing 2,600 consecutive Major League Baseball games, but that was only 16 seasons. Jeff Gordon never missed a race in 23 seasons. It's amazing, amazing, amazing. I mean, the guy is in shape. The guy is a man and a nice guy altogether. But we love NASCAR. We're going to talk a lot about NASCAR. Monday night, we are going to do Talladega inside and out. We are going to talk about how the race, pre-race, what happened during the race, just everything that's going on, who's surprised, who disappointed. Talladega, you never know. Even coming down to the checkered flag Talladega, you never know what's going to happen. Ask Carl Edwards about going into the fence. Ask Ryan Newman about going into the fence, coming down to the checkered flag. Some of the things that have happened there have been unbelievable. Ask David Rega about winning that place. Just coming from like 15th in the last lap and winning that race. It's an amazing place, and we'll have a lot to talk about that on Monday night. But tonight, we still haven't seen Talladega. I want to talk about a few other things. Let me know about movies. Tell me about movies. What is your favorite movie? Just give me one favorite movie, and I'll let you know if I've seen it, what I think about it. Quite frankly, Blues Brothers, I love that movie. The movie Signs, M. Night Shyamalan, the guy who made the movie about, you know, talking to dead people. He made a movie called Signs. That is an amazing movie too. That's one of those movies when it comes on TV, if it's there, I stop and I watch it. Brendan, favorite movie is Happy Gilmore. All right. Keegan likes Cars. I love Cars. It was great too. Justin, The Sandlot. Anything about baseball, Justin, is always good. So many good baseball movies. It's hard to mention them all. But a million good baseball movies. There's almost no bad baseball movies. Mickey TD75. How you doing, Mickey? Top Gun. Spencer Minions. Love the Minions. Spencer, got my own Minions t-shirt. Just love Minions. Anything Minions. Jacob Waller. Jacob says, I like any Robin Williams movie. You know, you're right. You can't go wrong with Robin Williams. Back to the Future. Ultimate PC Gamer. AJ loves cars. Legendary Dylan. Days of Thunder. Of course, it's NASCAR. Talladega Nights. Favorite movie, Fast and Furious 6. Another vote for Talladega Nights. The Two Despicable Me's. Obviously, those are just insane. When we went to see the first Despicable Me, the boys and Mrs. Lombard and I were sitting in the movie. We were laughing so hard. Zach and I were laughing so hard we were crying. We were sitting there in the theater with tears running down our cheeks because we were laughing so hard. Just that is our kind of humor. Just crazy stuff like that. We love it. Days of Thunder. It's another vote for that. Mickey D. Fast and Furious 8. I have not seen it. I understand it's pretty much like Fast and Furious 1 through 7, where they get cars to do things that are physically impossible. I mean, you're just against the laws of physics. Anytime people do stuff that's impossible, you know, it's just like, I don't know. Simpsons movies. You gotta love the Simpsons. Just 2 more votes for Talladega Nights. Hacksaw Ridge. I haven't seen that. I understand it's excellent. Might get in to see that one day. I like movie musicals. Movie musicals from the 40s and 50s. Gene Kelly, Fred Astaire, Ginger Rogers, stuff like that. I just love that stuff. Once again, real people playing real music, doing real singing. No special effects. I mean, just everything working, handmade. People who had talent, who could dance, who could swim. Esther Williams movies, you know, things like that. Oh, that is so good. Watch any of that old stuff. It's amazing stuff to see. Old Cary Grant movies are great. Old Jimmy Stewart movies. There were so many guys that were just great actors. Anytime you can get a movie out of the 40s and watch those, just watch some of the talent. They're still on TV now, 60 and 70 years later, is because they were that good. And so, you know, they never get old. There's just terrific movies. Another terrific movie is Forrest Gump, because of all the way they tie in all the historical records. Hey, Brandon, how are you, buddy? Nice to see you. Justin wants to know when Joe will be back. Joe will be back next Thursday. In fact, Joe and I are doing talk show because Zach is going to a memorial, a funeral service, and a memorial on Thursday. So I'm going to fill in for Zach next Thursday, and Joe and I will do talk show together. Be ready. Yeah, Spencer, run, Forrest, run. No, Spencer, it's run, Forrest, run. That's the way it's supposed to be done, all right? But, and have shrimp. If you watch Forrest Gump, you got to think about shrimp all the time. I don't know why it is, but that's a funny part of the movie, too. But that's a great one. JMB Productions, Monday, Justin. Not quite sure I get that one. Maybe you got to explain that one a little bit more for me. Do a Parents Edition talk show. Oh, my God. You would, I don't know about that. You would freak about that because me and Mrs. Lombard, we get crazy sometimes. That's why the boys are a little bit off because we're a couple of nuts ourselves. And you know what? We read each other's minds. We've been married 36 years, and she will say something, and it's just like a second from coming out of my mouth, and we do that all the time. It is amazing stuff how we do that. It's just like, you know somebody for so long, you just read their mind. You know, that's cool. Let's see. Not sure if Boss Lady would like to be in front of the camera. Well, you're right about that. She's camera shy. Always has been. Don't know why, because everybody loves her and can't complain. And Boss Lady's been out front of a crowd before, so I'll share this one with you. When she was in high school, Boss Lady was out there leading the marching band. She was, cheerleader out there leading the marching band at Richard Nixon's inauguration in Washington, D.C., right down Pennsylvania Avenue, 1972. There she is, sequin uniform, right out front, watching, in a historical thing like that. So she's had her moments in the limelight, I gotta tell you, and she was looking good, I gotta tell you. It's J&P Productions. Hello from Ohio, sorry. Ohio's a great place. Ohio's I've been there a few times. I like your senator. I like Sherrod Brown. A guy talks like this, but you gotta love a guy who talks like this. Sounds like the real people. But yeah, Sherrod Brown. I like Sherrod Brown. Pens fan. Never dated no cheerleaders. Me neither. But I eventually married one. One of the probably the best thing I ever did in my whole life because she gave me 36 happy years. Gave me 5 wonderful children. Great games. Great kids. What can I say? They're all real good. Never had to bail one out of jail. Score one for us. But Amethyst guy, hello from Chicago. Chicago's another cool place, buddy. AJ, hello from New York. Cedar Point theme park. I think that's where they have the giant roller coaster. Got stuck a few years ago. A bunch of people were like upside down or something like that. Or they have like the world's biggest wooden roller coaster or something like that. I've heard the name of it, but it's Cedar Point. I've heard about that. Somebody wants to know if I ever went to Las Vegas. Yeah, I've been through Las Vegas. You know what? The best thing about Las Vegas is if you get all the green lights and get out of there. Because quite frankly, it's not my kind of thing. You know, it's Las Vegas is not my style. The glitz and all that kind of noisy stuff and all that kind of stuff is not my thing. I like the beach. I like going up the coast. San Francisco is my style. Oahu, North Shore of Oahu, San Diego, the coast, anywhere in the central coast of California. That's my style. I just love it. The beach, you know, you could put me on the beach and sit me there with a cookie and I'd be happy. And, you know, that's the best thing. Bet Las Vegas is crowded. Yeah, it is. It is a very crowded place. I got to tell you. Charles, born in Chicago. You know, Charles, 2 of my grandchildren were born in Chicago. William and Yaida were born in Chicago. They're 20 and 22 years of age, but they were born in Chicago. Mr. Lombard, if you were a NASCAR driver, which team owner would you drive for? I would love to drive for Rick Hendrick because I think the guy is genuine. I think the guy is honest. You just listen to the man talk and you get this feeling that this is one honest guy. And you know what? A lot of those guys are that way, quite frankly, because you know what? You don't become a multimillionaire or a billionaire like Rick Hendrick being a schmuck. You get that way by being honest with people and being good with people. If you're good with people, you know what? Good things come your way. Not the GOAT 02, born in Camp Lejeune. Hello, military brat, right? Camp Lejeune is a Marine Corps base, right? I think I told you my oldest son, Bob, former Marine, served down in Camp Pendleton, California coast. Vince wants to know, ever been to Kansas City? Yeah, we drove through there once on our way to California. We drove all the way from Atlanta to California on a trip one time. Went through Kansas City. Didn't stop there, I don't think. Stayed out of in a little town just west of that. Some of the nicest people, and had kind of a thing happen. We left the boys' baby blankets in the hotel, and like a week later, a lady in the hotel who found them mailed them to us, and just because she knows the babies would miss their favorite baby blankets, and she mailed them to us. I mean, she could have thrown them out or something like that, but just I'll always remember the one thing about Kansas that some lady in Kansas was nice enough to go out of her way and spend her own money to mail us a couple of baby blankets that we left behind. So a shout out to Kansas at any time. I like Kansas. Good people from Kansas. I can't complain. A lot of good drivers from Kansas, right? Boyer. And, of course, our friend Carl, cousin Carl from Kansas. Good guys from Kansas. And Jamie, right? Jamie McMurray, another good guy. Jamie McMurray comes across as so real. You meet him, he smiles. He'll stand there. He'll shake your hand. Just a nice guy and a genuine guy. And not I get this feeling that there was not one phony bone in all of Jamie McMurray's body. He just seems to be a nice guy. Rick Hendrick is like the Steve Jobs of NASCAR. He might be. But he seems a lot more friendly, and he's still alive, so there's two different things. They're a little bit different. Oh, Carl and Jamie are from Missouri. You're absolutely right. What was I thinking? Middle of the country, close, but no cigar, right? Jaguar Beast 15. Who's excited for NASCAR Talladega? Everybody's excited. Said, Mr. Lombard, Alan says you come visit New York, and you and I, as well as Joe and I, will go to Watkins Glen. We would love to go to Watkins Glen. We're talking about doing that because Watkins Glen is a super course, excellent road course, just so much fun. I'd like to get out to Watkins Glen and take a lap myself. I mean, a couple years ago, Joe and I got to take a lap in the pace car at Sonoma, about 90 miles an hour in the pace car, the Camry pace car. That was awesome. And but yeah, Watkins Glen, I would love Watkins Glen. One of my favorite NASCAR memories is Watkins Glen, that last lap. Marcus Ambrose and what's his name with the teeth? You know who I'm talking about, number 2. Can't think of his name for a second. But racing that last lap at Watkins Glen a few years ago, that pass at the bus stop. That was unbelievable. That's the only time I've ever seen on SportsCenter where one of the highlights of a race, they showed Keselowski. Thank you, JC. Thank you. That's the only time I ever saw SportsCenter show an entire lap as a highlight on a SportsCenter show, an entire lap. You know, you usually get 10, 15 seconds from SportsCenter. They showed that entire last lap, which was an amazing last lap. And Marcus Ambrose won that race. We've met Marcus Ambrose a couple of times. Love Marcus Ambrose. What a nice guy. Another genuine guy. Is from Australia, which is where my mother was from. My mother was serving in the Women's Australian Army during World War II. Met my father, who was a U.S. Army doctor. They got married, and after the war, she came to America, came into San Francisco under the bridge on a big cruise liner. With about 1,500 other war brides, and stayed in America the rest of her life. Even joined the U.S. Army afterwards, and served as a U.S. Army nurse during Korea. So she was an Army nurse for the Australian Army during World War II, and an Army nurse for the U.S. Army during Korea. And God bless her for serving 2 countries. She's a great little lady. 5'2" and feistier, and you know what, just heck, but a tough little old bird, and I miss her. A big talker, and I guess that's where I get it from my mom, because she could talk forever, and I love to talk, man. You got to talk to people. Talking to people is awesome because you meet so many cool people. Just talking to people, and you'd be surprised what people know, and who they've met, what they've done, things that you might like too, or can tell you about things. Spencer, anybody remember Cousin Carl driving the Minions Toyota? Of course, love Minions. Can't say. Charlotte's my favorite track, says Justin. No, Talladega. And Sonoma. Love Sonoma. In fact, there's only a few that are, let's say, not good tracks that I think are kind of boring. New Hampshire is one. But hey, anytime it's a NASCAR race, I'd rather be at a NASCAR race than not, quite frankly, whatever the track is, right? Because the people are cool. One of the things I love about NASCAR is the fan base is cool. And another thing that we love about NASCAR is it's fan friendly. I mean, you get on the track, you can be right there with the drivers during the driver intros, the parade. You walk through the pits and all like that. You think they let you get on the field in Major League Baseball? Are you kidding? They'd arrest you if you stepped on the field in a Major League game. So NASCAR is totally different in that respect. They love the fans, and they make it known that they love the fans, and that's why the fans love NASCAR. Yeah, people may not know this. Las Vegas, Nevada gets tens of millions of visitors every year. Conventions, people on vacation, things that are going on, concerts and all like that. The single biggest attended event in Las Vegas every year, the single biggest event that gets the biggest crowd is a spring race in Las Vegas. The NASCAR event draws more people to any single event in Las Vegas every single year. So what does that say about NASCAR? People love NASCAR. People love Vegas. They go and have a good time. Quite frankly, like I said, it's if you're going to go see a show or something like that, Vegas, I guess, is okay. But I'm just not into casinos and things like that, so it's not my cup of deal. It's too far from the beach. You know what I mean? So, anyway, here's a guy, Joseph Feza. I don't think I've seen your name before, Joseph, but nice to have seen you. Michael Waltrip is probably the nicest driver I ever met. I know Joe has Jeff Gordon as a fave. Michael Waltrip, maybe he's a nice guy, but he drives me nuts. His mouth runs. He does that stupid track walk before the race, and his mouth just blah, 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 blah. He drives me nuts. I wish he would be quiet half the time. In fact, I like him better as a driver than as an announcer because he just drives me nuts. That's all I gotta say. That's my own personal opinion. I don't lay that on anybody else. Daytona, Amethyst guy. Daytona was scary back in the 80s because the walls were so small. You are right, dude. And anybody's ever seen any of that old footage of somebody in like a 76 Mercury going over the wall, 63 Galaxy going over the wall, those old NASCAR races, guys who go over the wall, and it didn't come back over either. They that used to be one dangerous place. That was one bad, dangerous place, but it is the home of racing. Safer barriers have made racing safer. You can go faster. Anybody who remembers when they first put the safer barrier up at Texas Motor Speedway, and Michael McDowell hit that thing at 180 miles an hour in the COT. Remember the first year they had the COT? And he hit that thing at 180 miles an hour, and that car barrel rolled 10 times. We were sitting there going, oh my God, this guy's going to be dead. We were just expecting the worst news, and he crawls out and walks away. We were just like, oh my God. If you saw that, you became an instant fan of the COT just because it would save your driver's life. I wasn't a big fan of the wing. I think the wing looks stupid, and I'm glad the COT is gone. I like the current car, but I like the COT because it proved they can make a safe race car that'll save. If you can hit a wall at 180 miles an hour and barrel roll 10 times and then crawl out and walk away from it, that is an amazing thing. It's because you see people get killed, unfortunately, at intersections in town at 35 miles an hour, get killed in a car wreck. That's a shame. It's always a shame. So, Anyway, guys are talking about who's going to be driving the 88. If it was my bet, somebody asked if Landon Castle. I would love Landon Castle to get in the 88 because, quite frankly, I love Landon Castle. He's my dude. But the 88, the more I think about it, probably Harvick. And if not Harvick, they'll move Casey Kane in it and they'll put somebody new in the 5. That's the way that's going to happen. Says, I thought Junior drove the number 8. Junior used to drive the number 8. If you remember back your NASCAR history, sure used to be in the number 8 car. But that wasn't for Hendrick Motorsports, right? That was for Earnhardt Racing. That was years ago with his stepmom. Anything and beyond. Mr. Lombard, I'm back. Do you remember me from yesterday? Of course I do. I remember all of you folks from yesterday. I had a terrific time yesterday. It was first time I ever done a thing like this. And it went so fast. It's just bang, bang, bang. The time went so fast. I got to talk half the night, quite frankly. And maybe we'll talk a little bit later tonight. If y'all want to hang in there for a few more minutes and like that and yak away, believe me, I got the energy. I got the strength. I can do it. I am the, like my kids call me, I'm the white tornado, man. I never stop. I keep moving all the time. Says JC, do you think street legal vehicles should have the same safety features at NASCAR? That would be cool, but they'd probably cost about $100,000 a piece. And you couldn't turn your head to look at people in crosswalks and things. If your head was in a Hans device and then surrounded all the time, you couldn't turn your head to back up and things like that. So you probably couldn't do it. Anything beyond, I don't have school this time. Anything beyond, somebody tells me you're from out of the country. Where are you chatting in from tonight? I had heard that you're chatting in from Europe. That's an amazing thing. If you're with us from Europe tonight, it's 2:30 in the morning. God bless you. God bless anybody who's sitting up late tonight to watch this old guy yak, because I'm flattered by the fact that you did. Anyway. That's funny. JC says, with your driver's license comes your own personal spotter. Very funny. Very funny. Spencer says all this equipment just go to a restaurant. Very good. But no, Justin says, have you played a video game with Joe on live stream? No, I don't. The only video games I really play, I played like Wii Bowling and okay, anything beyond. I'm from South Carolina. I like South Carolina. Went up there years ago one Sunday just for a little day trip when I was down in Atlanta. I found it a beautiful place. Nice town. We have my company has a facility in Rock Hill, South Carolina, 200,000 square feet. Company called Sierra Lawrence U.S. Aluminum in Rock Hill. One of our stronger facilities. Nice people down there. I get along with them. In fact, our manager down there used to work the NASCAR circuit when it was Winston Cup circuit. He worked for the cigarette company, and they would go to race to race to race, him and his wife, and hand out cartons of cigarettes. You know, you don't see him doing that anymore because a carton of cigarettes is about $200 these days, so I hear. But that's an amazing thing, too, that people still smoke at the price that is. I remember when cigarettes were like $1 a pack. I've never smoked a cigarette. I don't like them and all, but you know, you stand in line at the gas station, somebody buys a cigarette. Cigarettes out here in California is $10-11 a pack now. It's amazing. And yet they do it. So, whatever. That's a thing. Vince wants to know, do I like the LA Rams or the Chargers? Neither, quite frankly. When I was a kid, I used to watch the Rams, and then they left us. They moved out of town, and they went to Anaheim, which I didn't care for. And then they went to St. Louis. It's like, all right, fine. You want to get up and go? Get up and go. I'll find something else. Keep me busy. Dodger baseball has always kept me busy. Lakers. Used to be a big NBA fan. I would know everything about the NBA. I could name every guy in every roster and all like that. But that was about 20 years ago before it started to fall apart, before the talent level went down. Guys are going to school for college for 1 year, and they come out and think that they can play. I guarantee you not. I think pretty much any NBA team from the 80s could take the championship these days. Just a different breed of ball player. And I speak from a little bit of experience. I coached 16 seasons of basketball. I refereed 8 seasons of basketball, and I know the game, and especially situational basketball. And I see guys these days, all they want to do is jack up threes. Even little kids, the kids at the gymnasium, you know, they can barely get the ball to the rim, but all they want to do is jack up threes. Nobody practices free throws. Nobody does, you know, fundamentals anymore. Whatever. Now, here's an interesting question. How long will NASCAR go until it's over? It will continue to go. It will continue to go. They used to talk about basketball or baseball. Baseball's dead, they were saying in the 70s. Oh, baseball's a dead sport. Nobody watches it anymore. Yeah, right. Say that to the Dodgers, who get about 3.8 million people a year into Dodger Stadium. I don't think so. Baseball is stronger than it's ever been. Anything and beyond. I don't know who it was who said it. I think somebody just insinuated. Yeah, Mrs. Lombard says, last night someone said you were from Europe. Anything beyond? Don't know why. Whatever. Nothing wrong with being from Europe. Great. The country's got some great allies in Europe. The United Kingdom. We have 2 locations in the United Kingdom. We have a location in Germany and a location in Denmark. All super people. And you know what? They all speak English. You know why? Because they want to. They want to be able to watch American movies. They want to watch American TV. And so, you know what? They learn to speak English so they can. And we'll write on for that. You know? I mean, I like some French movies, but I've never learned to speak any French. If there's no subtitles, I'm in trouble. JC says, what sports league do you think would come to an end in our country first? I've seen them come to in Major League Soccer, things like that. The AFL, when it merged with the NFL. The CBA, the Continental Basketball Association, right, which was basically like minor league NBA. They're gone. Lots of things have tried. What was the Racing League, IRL? Had to disband, or Racing League of Champions or something like that. They had to disband. These things come and go, but the major sports, they will be around because first of all, there's too much money to let them fail. Spencer, have you ever been to the beach? Spencer, seriously? Seriously, dude? I told you I surf, right? I've told you I've gone to Hawaii. I like San Francisco. You met me up at Sonoma. How do you go to San Francisco and not been to the beach? Spencer, good grief. Anyway, I know Spencer's just kidding me. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I like old Spencer. He likes to kid people. Major League Soccer is still active. Yeah, that league is still active, but there were other leagues that are gone. The CBA is a D League now. No, the CBA is gone. The D League is sponsored by the NBA. The CBA used to be its own independent organization. Spencer, surfer. Oh, dang. Spencer, surfing is the bomb. You got to go do it. You got to do it. If you've never tried it, you got to go do it. Get in the surf. Just let it toss you around, and it's amazing. It's an amazing thing. I love surfing. I like surf movies. I like to go eat at islands because they play surf movies on the big screen TVs. It's just whatever. Isaac wants to know if I've ever been to Talladega. No, I haven't. I'm going to go one of these years. Couldn't go this year because of work, commitment to work, things that are going on. And next week, one of our grandsons is graduating high school, so we're going to have to travel next week. Couldn't take 2 weeks in a row off. But anyway, NASCAR 88. I live in Canada, obviously. Do you live in California? I don't know who you're asking that question, but Joe and I and Zach and Mrs. Lombard, yes, we live in California. We're about a mile east of the Reagan Library. You can Google that and see where it is. Live in a beautiful little place called Simi Valley. It's wonderful. Spencer says, I don't surf. All I do is swim around in the ocean waters. Then, Spencer, you know what a joy that is. You know how wonderful the ocean is. It just feels terrific. Keegan says, I do too. Plus, hang out in the hard sand area. Right? Digging for crabs, Spencer. Is that what we're at? Or we're building sandcastles, Spencer. You know I'm teasing you, man. I like old Spencer. Charles Wembley says, no, he live in Africa. I've seen some travelogues, people who rode, some guys who rode motorcycles from the top of Africa to the bottom of Africa, right to the bottom of South Africa. An amazing thing. That is an amazing place, Africa, for the terrain and all the different things and all like that. It's a beautiful and amazing continent. They've got their problems, of course, with their economies and things like that. But just the terrain, I'd like to maybe go see that one day myself. You never know. You got to you got to travel in life. I always wanted to go to Hawaii. Man, that was my dream for years and years and years and years. And you know what? I was 61 before I got there, but I finally got there, and I loved the place. It was long worth the wait. Mickey says, did you go to the Long Beach Grand Prix? I've never been there, but Joe goes to the Long Beach Grand Prix. Joe likes pretty much all disciplines of racing. I'm pretty much a NASCAR fan. I've been to the drag races a few times. But, in fact, I was at Riverside Raceway when I was a kid, the day that somebody broke the 200-mile-an-hour barrier in top fuel. Right? Nobody had ever run 200-mile-an-hour quarter mile until that day at Riverside Raceway. And I always remember it because I was standing in a porta potty at the time. And I heard this amazing noise. And the crowd go nuts because obviously they'd put the time up on the scoreboard. Everybody had been running 190s, 195s all day and all like that. The guy breaks the 200-mile-an-hour barrier for the very first time in drag racing history, and I'm standing in the porta potty. It's just like, dang timing, you know what I mean? But anyway, let's see. Joseph, what's the last concert you've been to? You mean like me? God, I don't know, but I have seen them. I have seen Zeppelin. I have seen Bowie. I've seen the Tubes. The Tubes was one of the craziest concerts I ever went to. If you ever get on YouTube, see if you can find a video of the Tubes. Their concerts were nuts, which is an amazing thing. Somebody else knows if I like hockey. I like hockey. You know what kills hockey though for a lot of people? 2 intermissions, basically 2 halftimes. It's for a lot of people they can't sit through it, and especially with TV, they go off and they you know what I mean? And they go find something else to do. Here's a little thing about hockey you may not know. Everybody knows what a Zamboni is, right? Well, Zamboni is named after the guy who invented it, whose name was Joseph Zamboni. And it was invented in a little town called Downey, California. It's about 10 miles southeast of downtown California. You would think that a Zamboni would have been invented maybe in Europe or especially in Canada, right? If I had to bet it and I didn't know, I would have said, oh yeah, they invented that thing in Canada. The Zamboni was invented in Southern California. And the original first Zamboni was a Jeep, a World War II Jeep. The guy put some brushes on the front and a blade on the front and drove it around the ice in local minor league hockey rinks. Somebody caught wind of it, told the NHL about it. The NHL said, hey, will you build a few of those for us? And he did, and the rest is history. But a Zamboni originally was a World War II Jeep built by a guy in Southern California. There's your little history for you, especially you Canadian guys, because I know you love hockey. And TJ says he loves hockey. You have to root for the Penguins. I like the Pens. I love their uniforms, quite frankly. I like their color schemes and all. Alan wants to know if you've ever been to Irwindale Speedway. I've been to Irwindale Raceway when the drag strip was there when I was a kid. They used to have drag races there on Saturday nights. And we'd go there. Splash Man 30 by 14. Can I get a shout out? Of course you can. I'm glad to see you. What's the 30 by 14? You gotta give me where does that come from? 30 by 14 Splash Man. DF5 number 24 says hi. Hi DF5. So DF, what's the DF for? We got to you got to tell us what these are about. A lot of people, they put their names up, but you got to tell us what it's all about. What's your name all about? Is it about a game that you like? Is it a nickname you have as a kid? Is it about maybe a favorite relative you have? Maybe a favorite uncle or something like that? Or DF, whatever. Let us know. Mr. Lombard, sir, I have to put my children to bed. I'll be watching for more to come. Hey, Monday night, I will be here. Monday night, dude. We'll get together, Joseph. By the way, I like that name, Joseph. I'm kind of partial to that, all right? Put the kids to bed. Give them a big hug and all like that. Children are a treat. Children are a joy. There's nothing in your life better than you'll ever have than children. Trust me. 30 by 14. All right, I got that. Very good. I like your thinking on that. Mr. Lombard, what do you think of the state of Nebraska? It's flat, but you know what it produces? It's a breadbasket of the country. It produces, and people there are always nice. Mr. Lombard, I hear that the Pacific Ocean has bigger waves. Any idea how big they are? JDM, that depends on where you go. I've been to places like down at the Wedge, about an hour from here. You get a 15-foot swell that breaks right on the shore. The curl breaks, boom, right into the sand. You can't surf because it breaks in the sand. All you can do is you can body surf and get your body mangled, and you go right back out and you do it again. You have some great surf on the western-facing beaches, sometimes here in Ventura County. Depends. There's a lot of great beaches. It depends on the weather. The West Coast surf depends on what's coming down the Pacific coast up off of Alaska a lot. So that's where you get that. Rarely you get something coming up off of Mexico. You get a tropical storm coming off of Mexico, but mostly it's stuff that comes off the Pacific coast. Down the coast is when you get your big swells. And believe me, there are some beautiful waves, man. Surfing, body surfing, even if you don't have a surfboard, just get out there and swim in it. Spencer, you know what I'm talking about, right? It's an amazing thing. So let's see. Kyle's big plan to get Joey. Thinks could be. Kyle, go Kyle, you can do it. And you know what? Jeff's Drive for 5, Jeff Gordon. I love it. Absolutely love it. That is just classic. Joseph's handle N2SC4R. I made that up for him. In fact, that's the license plate on my car. I am N2SC4R, California plate, running around for the last 8 years on the Jeep, which I love. Great car. I have a 2010 Wrangler, ragtop. Put the top down, 2-door. Nothing stops it. It's built like a tank. It's quick off the line, and I just love it. Mr. Lombard, can Mike Trout trade in LA Dodgers? Never. Because you know what? Angels give up Mike Trout for anything less than about $100 billion. They're nuts because Mike Trout is the man. Mike Trout did something this year that nobody ever did before. Mike Trout finished either first or second in MVP voting 5 seasons in a row. You know whose record he broke? So many people think, oh, sure, Babe Ruth or, Lou Gehrig or, somebody like that, one of the big, Joe DiMaggio or something like that, one of those guys. That record he broke actually belonged to a catcher, number 8, with the New York Yankees. If you're a New York Yankee fan, you know who I'm talking about, right? Who would have ever thought that guy finished first or second in MVP voting 4 seasons in a row? But he did. It's an amazing thing. You Yankee fans, if you figure that out, let us know about it. You know what I'm talking about, right? Let's see. So Joseph didn't come up with that. You did? Well, he and I were sitting together one night and thinking about, I want to put a special plate on the car, and said, Joe, what about this? And he said, well, what about that? Dad, it's a group effort. It was kind of like a love of Jeff Gordon kind of thing. We put our heads together and sat there in the office at the computer and for about a half hour and came up with that. So yeah, I have to give Joe 50% of the credit. If I don't, then I'm just lying, But he didn't have a car at the time. He wasn't old enough to drive at the time, so we put it on my car, and that's where it sits to this day. And it's kind of cool. It's a legacy kind of thing now because they don't let you substitute numbers for letters anymore on the plates here in California. So N2SC4R is you're grandfathered in if you had one. They can't take it from you, and you can keep it as forever if you want. Because you own the plate. You don't lease it or, let's say, pay a month. You pay an annual thing, but that's yours. You own it. But you could never get one of that again. So that's not going anywhere, buddy. But yeah, I give Joe 50% of the credit. MRT, why is this going fast but not work in school? Because you know what? Work and school are good things for you. And things that are not good things for you, like this, or being at the movie or being at the beach, unfortunately go too fast. You know what I mean? It's like eating a bag of candy. It's like all of a sudden you're at the bottom. It's like, what happened? Where's my candy? That's what you want. How'd that go so fast? Whereas if you're sitting in the doctor's office waiting for a shot, it seems like it takes forever. And you know what I'm talking about. If you're sitting in the dentist chair with your mouth open, they got all those wires in there. The guy is going to drill any minute. It's like, oh my God. And you know what's going to happen. It feels like it takes forever, like your whole life is going to be there. But school is the worst thing ever created. JC, not true, because the more you know, the better you are. Believe me, the more you know, the wider your education to talk about anything, learn about everything. And that doesn't mean you have to go to college or anything like that. Just read stuff, watch stuff, talk to people. You know what? Believe me, school is the best. Knowledge, man. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is strength. Knowledge is freedom. People who don't know anything, they get stuck in dead-end jobs. They don't have any freedom. Knowledge is freedom. Says, why does Zach like Dodge? I don't know why, but except for maybe when there was a little kid, they used to have commercials on the new Dodge. And I think Zach's very first word was milk, because he wanted to ask for milk when he was a baby. And his second and third words were dude Dodge. He would say new Dodge. And he has been a Mopar fan ever since. And believe me, he is... He's big with Chrysler products, Mopar. Hey, that's what we have. The wife has a 2011 Durango Citadel with the big engine, the Hemi engine. I've got the Jeep Wrangler. Zach's got the 2005 Magnum, which the people who know classic cars, who know collectibles, say that the Dodge Magnum, especially that first year, will be the Nomad of the 2000s. And the Nomad, I'm talking about, is a 1955 Chevy Nomad, 2-door station wagon that everybody turns into a surf wagon and all like that. The Dodge Magnum, they say, will be the Nomad of the 2000s. They think they're right. If you don't think I'm right, go online and see what it takes to buy a Magnum. With these websites that sell cars, every year they get more expensive because they get more and more rare. And I'm glad Zach has his because he hangs on to it. You can take care of it. Fiat is an Italian manufacturer, by the way. Does anybody know what Fiat stands for? Right? Anybody know? 2 minutes. If you know what Fiat stands for, tell me what it stands for. And in 2 minutes, if I don't get an answer, I'll tell you the truth. Josh says, do you think Dodge will ever come back to NASCAR? I hope so because they are the company. I mean, Richard Petty, right? Drove his Plymouth. I mean, he's Dodge and Chrysler is associated with NASCAR. And all right, Hall M34, you're the man with the answer. Fiat stands for Fix It Again, Tony. I love that. That is classic. Anybody know what Ford stands for? Come on, we'll give you 60 seconds on Ford. That one should be fairly easy. In fact, there's a Ford and a backward Ford line. If you know the front one, if you know the Ford one, most people know that one. A lot of people don't know the backwards one for Ford. Found on Road Dead, very good. Here we go. Ford is Henry Ford. I'll give you the backward one. The backward one is driver returns on foot. That means that thing broke down somewhere you had to walk home, man. Driver returns on foot. That's anybody know what Lotus stands for? You know the British car maker Lotus? Give that a couple of minutes if nobody comes up with Lotus, I'll tell you what Lotus stands for. That's a very funny one too. Very clever. Hall M34. You came in quick with Fiat. You know what Lotus stands for? Here we go. Mickey, fix or repair daily. Got that one. Carl Edwards better come back. He might. You never know. If somebody made the guy the right deal, you never know. Fix or repair daily. Jared. Lots of guys got that one on Ford. That's fairly well known. LOL on the understatement. Very good. Lotus used to participate in Formula One before being bought up by Renault. That's true. Okay. All right. Lotus. Lotus stands for lots of trouble, usually serious. That's a great one. That comes from your friends in the UK. If you've ever watched Top Gear, anybody here ever watched Top Gear when they had the original cast on the BBC? Top Gear is a riot. It's a great show. The original Top Gear, lots of fun, lots of cool vehicles, lots of cool travelogues. I mean, I remember one time they had a guy with a specially outfitted Toyota pickup truck drive up to the face of an erupting volcano, and he had like on a big metal pole like a basket, and he was actually catching rocks being thrown out of the volcano, like hot lava rocks. If they were getting close enough to the car, he would catch it in this basket. I mean, glowing red volcano lava rocks. He was that close to this erupting volcano. The whole thing could have gone down anytime. That was it was amazing. Have you seen Grand Tour? I have not, but I'd like to see Grand Tour because it's got the old guys, and I love the old guys. Those guys are funny. Anybody know what goat means? That was a Pontiac. Pontiac was a goat, right? See, us old guys might know that. I know you young guys may not know that, but here we go. Hall 34. They said yes. Anybody know what goat means? Mr. Lombard, do you think Tony Gwynn and Jackie Robinson are the best baseball legends since the World Series? I love Tony Gwynn. I thought he was a terrific guy. I was very sad when he passed. Tony Gwynn was a great guy and just a lovely guy, a very polite guy. And I was sad to hear when he passed. Only 47 years of age when he died, unfortunately, of throat cancer. One of the guys who works for me and a guy I've known for over 30 years, over 35 years, last year went through a bout of stage 3 cancer. Went to the doctor, thought he had like the flu. He thought he had a sore throat. They diagnosed him with stage 3 cancer. Missed about 7 months of work, lost 40 pounds. And the guy was already in shape.
they cut him from here all the way down to his shoulder blade, and then all the way down to the middle of his throat, and just pulled his half of his face back to be able to cut all the cancer that was in his throat. I mean, it was gruesome. You should see the scar. The scar is like 100 stitches, easily, and that's how they had to go in and get the cancer out. Then he had to have radiation treatments for 2 months and things like that. And now he's back on a limited schedule. So whatever. Anyway, but no, goalies all on time. All right, Mickey, I like that one. National Association of Stock Car Auto Racing, NASCAR, very good. Hey, anybody want to give this an extra 10 minutes tonight? Can we get an extra 10 minutes? Can I get an amen on an extra 10 minutes? All right. You okay with that, boss lady? Can we get an extra 10 minutes, boss lady? I'd like to do it. If you guys want to hang in, we're going to do some extra time tonight. Fast food. That's a subject I wanted to get in tonight, and we're running short of time. Let's talk about it. Favorite fast food menu item. Just give me your one favorite fast food menu item. I don't want to hear your favorite restaurant or anything. Just your favorite fast food menu item. My favorite one, quite frankly, right now, the new one is the Grand Mac. That thing is the bomb, man. That is like the Big Mac on steroids. I love that thing. Here's Vince Lewis. Chick-fil-A. DF5, number 24. The Big Mac. All right. I'm a kid. Is 11 a kid? That depends on how old you are, man. You know, how old you are inside. Like I said last night, hey, how old would you be if you didn't know how old you are? Quarter pounder, Happy Meal. Happy Meals are cool too. French fries, nuggets. Love nuggets. In-N-Out. Love the In-N-Out. Filet of fish sandwich. Zach likes a filet of fish sandwich. Every once in a while, he'll down a couple of those. Ultimate PC Gamer, the Whopper. The Whopper is Boss Lady's favorite. Heavy mayonnaise and onions. She loves Whoppers. She just loves to know that. Have one of the Whoppers. French fries, Egg McMuffins from McDonald's. Hey, that's a bomb for breakfast too. Sausage and Egg McMuffins, bacon cheeseburgers, half pounders, anything and beyond. Says, I'm eating Wendy's. Well, right on, dude, because I wish I was eating Wendy's right now too. You know? Triple Whopper, you're the man. If you can eat a triple Whopper, you are a man. Somebody says, who doesn't love In-N-Out Burger? All right, Zach, we know that's you, buddy. Taco Bell, triple. Whoppers are huge. You're right. Spencer, Zach says hi. You know, Zach, Spencer says hi. Let's see. On my NASCAR game, Menard won and finished fourth. Triple Whopper for life. I love that. I love that. Zach says, Zach is here. Mr. Lombard, does your work have a depot in Ottawa? No. Montreal and Toronto are the two places we are in Eastern Canada. We're also in Vancouver and Calgary and Langley, BC. Carl's Jr. Western Burger, those are good. Famous New York pizza. Wendy's are too busy having a savage night. Right, okay. Bacon King, I don't know what that is. So you got to tell me what that is. A little more thing. Magnum, sorry I'm late. We're out having Buffalo Wild Wings with the family. Right on, Zach. Whataburgers are good. I wish they had those in California. Anything from Chick-fil-A. I love Chick-fil-A. They have a few of them here in California. Those are good too. Chick-fil-A. I wish they were open Sunday. Sunday's my favorite day to get takeout food, but whatever. Georgia Gold Chicken from KFC. We like KFC. I have not tried that yet. You got to tell me is it good, or I mean, what's different about it? Chicken wings are the key to happiness. All right, I love that people they get into stuff like that. Says, where I live, there's only Carl's Jr., not Hardee's. Same thing, just a different name on the door. Exactly same company, exactly same menu, supplied by the same food service people and all like that. No big thing. But there's lots. Fast food, there's lots of good fast food, man. We have a place in California called The Hat. And they make these gigantic pastrami sandwiches. Honestly, they are so big, you cannot eat one in one meal. So you cut it in half, you eat it for dinner, you take the other half for lunch the next day, and it's still great. I mean, it's wonderful. Did you spend it with your older brother, Magnum of? Yes, he did. Okay, Crystal Burgers is like White Castle here. That's right. Here we have Crystal. Not close, but Crystals are good. You can get them in the store. They come in a box of 12. Toss them in the microwave. They're still good. Like the Crystals, those are good. Do you want a Savage Whopper? What is a Savage Whopper? Somebody's going to tell me what a Savage Whopper is. I have no idea. If you guys, anybody know what a 4x4 is? A 4x4, when you go to In-N-Out, is 4 patties and 4 slices of cheese. It's just like, quite frankly, if you tied a string around it, you could make a boat anchor out of it. It's that big and heavy. It's totally cool. Five Guys is lit. Charles, we have a Five Guys here, but they don't have a drive-through window, and quite frankly, I think they're a little bit overpriced. I like their fries and all like that, but I quite frankly, the $8 for a cheeseburger is a little bit much. You know, number 24, DF5, number 24. I like trains. Okay. I'm not sure how that does with fast food unless you're eating on a train. Then I guess it's kind of fast food. But Keegan says I'm hungry now. Keegan, me too, buddy. I'm sitting here. I haven't had anything since like lunch. I ate a Milky Way bar or something like that for lunch because I was busy today. So I'm going to eat when I get out of here. But just full here was that. Very good. Hall Thim 34. Chick-fil-A has the best fries. Their fries are good. Zach, did you spend with your older brother with Joseph? I believe they did today. Zach, jump in. Anybody like hot dogs? Out here we have a place called Der Wiener Schnitzel, and you don't get like all beef dogs and all kinds of different hot dogs, corn dogs, mini corn dogs, something like that. If you want like the boom instant hot dog, you go down to Der Wiener Schnitzel. And those are terrific. And like $2 for the biggest hot dog, man. It's terrific stuff. I haven't seen anybody seen on here with Taco Bell unless I missed it. Taco Bell is cool. You know, as long as you don't do too crazy. Do the basic Taco Bell stuff. The tacos are still good. Burrito Supremes, things like that. Those are terrific. Those are good. Den Gio's is the place. Speaking of food, I heard a guy say something on the radio tonight, which is true, right? He said most people eat to live. You know, you got to eat to live, right? He says Italians live to eat. That's how much Italians love to eat. And I thought that is a truism. And it's true. You know, it's like, hey, that's true. That's true. Italians live to eat. Italians, they're big on big meals and things like that. Pasta and dang, now I want to go to Macaroni Grill, man. Have some spaghetti. That's what I like to do. Or Pizza Kitchen. Anybody go to a CPK? Is there a CPK near you? Those are good too. Do you remember the Bell Beefer? You bet I do, man. That thing was great. Bell Beefer was terrific. What did Jeep say Toyota? You got to tell me, dude. I have no idea. That's where we just went off the rails with that one. I still want to talk about food. Candy. Anybody got a favorite candy? Mac and cheese is my favorite. Sappy cinnamon candy. Man, there's so many good candies. Violet crumble. If you ever can find a violet crumble, no matter what it costs to get it, buy one. They're amazing. It's got a thin chocolate coating and all this honeycomb stuff inside. You just bust off. It's real hard. You bust it off and just leave it in your mouth, and it dissolves on its own in your mouth. You don't have to bite it or anything like that. And it just slowly dissolves. This amazing honey taste with the chocolate. It's just like you took, I don't know, like a Three Musketeers and dipped it in a jar of honey and ate it. You can imagine how sweet that is. Dove dark chocolate, love the dark chocolate, so good. Sour Patch, wonderful. Sour Starburst, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. I know who that is out there. She loves those. Twix are good. A tie between candy corn and mellow cream pumpkins. Those are good too. Classic stuff, man. And always come in a big bag that you can just put your hand down and grab them. There's Zach on there. Zach loves the dots. Zach has always loved the dots. You go to Target and you get the big box of dots for $1. Take them to the movie. You know, that's always good. Skittles. Skittles are good. Original Skittles. None of these crazy flavors that come up now. Hershey's Cookies and Cream. Those are good. Snickers, you can never go wrong with a Snickers bar. I mean, just Snickers is wonderful any time of the day. I've had a Snickers for breakfast at times because just had to have something, some little pack, a little punch. You know what I mean? But sour icebreakers. Now, see, I can't get into the sour candy. It's like woo, Butterfinger, right? Butterfingers are good. Nestle Crunch, man, I had Nestle Crunch ever since I was a kid. Mommy, give me some dots now, woman. You're very funny. M&M's in the house. Some of the M&M's are good. There's a new M&M, which is the strawberry nut M&M. It's peanut M&Ms, but after they do the peanuts, they dip them in like a strawberry jelly, and then they coat them with the chocolate. If you think M&Ms couldn't get any sweeter, you got to try those, man. They are like, whoa, my God. They are sweet. M&M's crispy, those are kind of cool too. They have a different taste to them, but they're kind of cool. Airheads, Charlton Chew, right on top. That is old school. Keegan coming up with a Charlton Chew. That thing has been around like since the 30s, guy. That honest to God, and they still sell those things. And Abba Zabbas, talk about vintage candy. Charlton Chew, Abba Zabbas. If you've never had either one of those, give one of those a try. Caramel M&Ms just came out. I have to give those a try. I like caramel and chocolate. Those are good. Reese's Pieces, no. All right, very funny, Charles. Swedish Fish. If you've never seen them, there is a Swedish Fish Oreo. So instead of cream in the middle, they have a Swedish Fish. Talk about, that's all I got to say about that. Baby Ruth. Baby Ruth is another vintage candy, right? That has been around since the 1900s. And it was named after Theodore Roosevelt's daughter, whose name was Ruth. Some people think it was for Babe Ruth. No, it was out before that. Theodore Roosevelt, who was president of the country in 1908, his daughter was named Ruth. And somebody came out with a candy in New York, and they named it the Baby Ruth as a kind of a tribute to the new baby in the White House. And so that's where that came from. Here's more. Very funny. I won't ever say what Zach said about Swedish Fish because, it's a mixed audience. There's children out there, Zach, for God's sake. It says, I do not eat Charlton Chew. That's okay. You don't have to. Very funny, Charles. Very good. That is a funny one. Quick, very quick. All right. Anything beyond, tell your friends. That's how we build. We're getting there. You're absolutely right. You just have to get on and have a good time. That's what live streaming is about. Anybody who, you ever think you want to live stream or something like that? You ever think you want to get into this and all like that? Get on. Don't be serious. Have a good time. Just talk. Just have a good time. Anything beyond says, you don't have friends. Of course you do. They're right here. We're all talking right now. I'm your friend. I didn't meet you till yesterday, but I'm your friend because you know what? You're new to me. And everybody I meet new is my friend until they do something to make them not my friend. You don't have to earn my friendship. You get my friendship automatically. You can lose it, but you get it automatically. All you guys, all you girls that are on here tonight, you're all my friends. I love you to death. I love the fact that you will spend some of your Friday night with me, listen to me yak, and we can all joke around and get on, talk about our favorite thing. Double stuffed Oreos are great, Spencer, but I hate to break your bubble. They're not double. Somebody did a weights and measure test on a double stuffed Oreo. It's only 1.86% a regular Oreo. So it's not double. They are ripping you off of 0.14 of the cream inside. So you ought to go protest. Spencer, get down to the store. I want you to protest right now. Anyway, it's like, anything beyond, I like having a life without others messing with me. You know what? I can understand that. And a lot of people are that way. They like their quiet. Zach likes his quiet. He likes his friends too, but he likes his quiet. And everybody has that certain amount they like. You know where I get my quiet? I get my quiet in my car on the way to work in the morning for an hour, on the way home from work at night an hour. If I want it to be quiet, I turn off the radio. I don't do anything. I might talk to myself. I might sing to myself, but it's quiet. That's how you get your quiet time. Everybody likes their quiet time. Don't feel that you're different or anything, that you like your quiet time. Quiet time is good. Everybody needs their quiet time. Just mellow, chill out. meditate, if that's what you want to call it. Anything like that is cool. You know, people like that. So Toblerone. Oh, I had forgotten about that. I like Toblerone. Those are good too. They sell those. Usually got them sitting at the end cap at the Target, right before you check out, and they got the candy sitting there. Oh, what the heck? You reach over and grab one, put it on the cart. Those are great. Mods like myself maintain law and order. Pun intended from the TV show. Right on, dude. I like that. Matt Smith says, I'll be sitting in the tri-oval tomorrow for the race. You're a lucky dude, because, back to Talladega, it is the bomb. I would love to see that. I would love to see that. And I will one day. Like I said, it took me 61 years to get to Hawaii. When I was a kid, I always wanted to fly in a World War II bomber. It used to be a show on called 12 O'Clock High, and I thought, I'd love to fly in a B-17. You know what? For my 55th birthday, I finally got to do it. I had to wait almost 50 years to do it, but I finally got to do it. That's what you do. Everybody has dreams. May not come tomorrow, but don't lose the dream, because it comes. Believe me, it comes to you sooner or later. It's an amazing thing, life like that. You have a dream, don't give up on it, and one day it'll come. It's like Zach with his classic car thing with the museum. He always loved classic cars. All of a sudden, one day, he goes to a classic car museum, and dang, a few months later, he's working at the classic car museum and driving classic cars. That was his dream, and you know what? It came true for him because he was patient, and it happened. He made it happen. He did the right things, and he makes it happen. It's great. Life is like that. Don't ever give up your dreams, because it's you will get them. Hall M34. He is very quiet in real life. That's right. He's the calm dude. He's the calming factor in the house. He is. Joe saves it for the camera. He does. You know what? People joke about the family. I got to tell you, I love my boys. I love Boss Lady. We're one happy little group. And we like to make people laugh. We like to share. We have our charities that we do for people. We don't get in people's faces. We don't go out and sue people in courts of law because they make us unhappy. We don't cause scenes. We have a happy, quiet life, and we try to do as much as we can for people because, people are what it's all about, and that's what makes you happy. So anybody who says it's money that makes you happy, trust me, I know guys who have hundreds of millions of dollars are miserable people. Trust me, they are miserable people because nobody leaves them alone. You don't have to have a fortune to be happy. You just have to be into what you love. If there's one thing that you love, if there's one thing you can do good in your life, concentrate it. If it's just playing a musical instrument, if it's playing a video game, if it's out there, shooting baskets or riding your bicycle or swimming or anything like that. If there's anything that you love, one thing that you can do good, and everybody can do at least one thing good. Trust me, everybody can do one thing good. That's one of the keys to coaching. Find the one thing good that every player can do. If you do that, you find the one good thing that that you can do, you'll be a happy person. And like I say, talk to people, be good to people, and people will be good to you. People want people to talk to them. People want people to be good to them. And if you are to them, they will be good to you. That's the way life works. That's trust me, that is the secret to life, to being happy. Do what you're good at. Even shoot, all that means if you like art, if you're an artist, if you want to be an artist, then do it. That's what you want to be. Follow your dream. The happiest people are the people who follow their dream. Not the people who work strictly for money, but they follow their dream. I wanted to be a designer. Went to school to be a designer. Never got to be a designer. But you know what I got to be? I got to be a guy who makes technical bulletins and catalogs and advertisements and things for architectural systems. It's a designer. It's not the same subject I wanted to work on, but I'm doing the same thing. I got to do what I wanted to do. You just channel your talents that way. Look at Joe. Joe is as talented as can be with electronics and stuff. Joe was making videos. He used to make burnout videos with Hot Wheels cars and little balls of cotton. And he would do stop motion burnout videos with his Hot Wheel cars and balls of cotton and do that. And it was an amazing thing. And it was so cool. It was cool. Anything bond. There was a lady at the flea market that gave me a NASCAR die cast for $2. What was she doing? $2. You know what? She was giving somebody something that she knew would make them happy. And because you had to give her $2, it has some value. People get things for free, they don't always have value. But if you have to pay something for something, even if it's just a little bit, then it has value to it. She made somebody young happy. The $2 really didn't make a difference to her. What made the difference to her is that she made you happy, and she also gave you a feeling that what you did had value. You know, God bless her. We need more people like that in the world. You know, that's what life. But that's what the world is like. That's what life is like, guys. And I'm glad to have been able to share an hour and 15 minutes with you tonight. We're going to be back and do this Monday night. You know, Monday night we're going to talk about Talladega and anything that goes down in Talladega. If you have a topic you want to talk about Monday night, whisper it to Boss Lady or just throw it in the chat. If it's got some traction, we'll talk about it, because you know what? We can talk, right? We love to talk. And I love to be with you guys, all my new friends. Everybody that I've been able to shout out. And if I missed you, I didn't do it on purpose. That's just what maybe I just didn't read you fast enough, but I'm glad you were here. I'm really glad you're here, and I'm just glad to be here tonight, guys. So, you all have a good evening, and I'm going to sign out for tonight.